My girlfriend Allison cheated with her boss, Jay, and my friends cheered her on. I walked away, teamed up with Jay's wife, and watched their lies unravel at a company party. Karma struck. Here's how I rose from the ashes. I'm 28, and my girlfriend Allison, 26, has been my everything for 3 years. We met at a friend's karaoke night. Her voice wobbled through a pop song, I jumped in with a clumsy duet, and we collapsed into laughter that sealed us together. Our life bloomed from there, a cozy apartment with creaky hardwood floors, a scruffy fern we named Fernie that clung to life despite our neglect, evenings of takeout pizza and video games that spilled into the early hours. Trust was our unspoken. Pact? We'd roll our eyes at breakup gossip, vowing we'd never let secrets fester. Allison's a marketing assistant with a fire in her belly. I'm a video editor piecing together freelance gigs. Our worlds danced in sync, her bold pitches lighting up my quiet cuts. 5 months ago, though, that dance started to stumble. It crept in slow, like a melody fading into static. Allison began working late. Busy season, she'd say, slipping through the door past 9, her hair a mess, her eyes darting past me to the couch. Client rush, Michael, she'd sigh, brushing my cheek with a fleeting kiss before rummaging for a snack. I'd nod, you're killing it, and tweak my edits under the dim glow of my monitor, Fernie's leaves drooping as I lost track of watering it. Her text dwindled, short, still at it replies replaced our playful back and forth about her latest campaign or the goofy outtakes I'd share from my projects. I chalked it up to her ambition. She's always been a climber, dreaming of a corner office with her name on the door. But then the hints piled up, faint but insistent, like breadcrumbs I didn't dare follow. The first whiff came from her jackets, a floral perfume, rich and unfamiliar, not her usual crisp peppermint, hitting me like a stranger's presence as I hung them by the door. Then new clothes appeared in our closet. A tailored blazer I'd never seen, a silk scarf that fluttered when I brushed past it. Borrowed from a coworker, forgot to return. She'd shrug, her voice too light, her eyes avoiding mine. Her phone turned into a fortress, always in her hand or tucked under a pillow, buzzing late into the night with alerts she'd silence with a quick flick. I'm not the jealous type, never snooped, never questioned her heart, but a cold unease coiled in my gut. She'd pull away when I'd wrap my arms around her, mid-text, whispering, "Worn out, Michael," her tone clipped, or step onto the balcony for calls. Work stuff, nothing worth hearing. The cracks widened over weeks. She'd come home, distracted, her laughter forced when I'd try to pull her into our old routines, movie nights, silly debates over pizza toppings. I'd catch her staring at her phone, a faint smile tugging at her lips, one I hadn't seen in months. 4 weeks ago, I cooked her favorite, lasagna with extra basil, the kitchen warm with its scent, hoping she'd be home by 7 to share it. Late meeting, sorry, her text buzzed, and I ate alone, the silence thick, Fernie's leaves brushing my elbow as I pushed my plate away. Later, I opened our shared Spotify. Her playlist hummed with sultry jazz at 11 p.m., streaming from downtown, nowhere near her office. My pulse quickened. Something was rotting beneath our surface, and I couldn't pretend it away. Last Tuesday, the truth clawed its way out. I was folding laundry, the dryer's steady hum a backdrop to my restless thoughts, when her phone lit. Up on the coffee table, a rare slip left behind as she showered. A preview flashed from Jay. "Miss you already? Last night was..." The rest cut off, but my stomach plunged. A sick lurch that stole my breath. Jay's her boss, a slick exec I'd met at her company picnic. Tall, polished, with a handshake that lingered and a grin that promised more than professionalism. I stood there, staring at the screen, the folded shirts forgotten, my mind racing through every late night, every dodged hug, every call she'd taken outside. I didn't want to be the guy who digs through his girlfriend's phone, but the universe was shouting, shaking me awake. Wednesday night, I couldn't hold it in any longer. She was in the kitchen blending a smoothie, the whirring blades slicing through the quiet of our apartment as I leaned against the door frame, arms crossed, heart pounding. "Who's Jay texting? You about last night?" I asked, my voice low but firm, a thread of steel woven through the calm. She shut off the blender, her shoulders stiffening, her hand pausing midair. Then she turned, and the smirk on her face wasn't the Allison I knew. Not the warm, goofy girl who'd belt out bad lyrics with me. It was cold, triumphant, a stranger's mask. "Wondering when you'd finally catch on, Michael," she said, taking a slow sip from her glass, her eyes glinting with something sharp. "Jay's my boss. Yes, I've been sleeping with him. 2 months now. I needed a real man. Someone who knows what he wants and takes it. Not a guy wasting weekends playing video games with Jacob or watching dumb movies." Her words hit like a sledgehammer. 3 years together, and this was her truth? I felt my throat tighten, but I kept my gaze steady. Fernie's got more drive than your meetings, I said, my tone even, though my chest burned with the weight of her betrayal. She laughed, a harsh cutting sound that echoed off the walls. He gets me. Our friends do too. They've known for weeks. That stabbed deeper. Jacob, Chloe, the crew we'd built memories with, from late-night talks to shared holidays, all in on this? I grabbed my phone, thumbs trembling as I opened our group chat. Allison's with Jay? True? Jacob's reply flashed fast. Bro, you're great, but she deserves someone established. Don't take it personal. Chloe followed. We didn't want to hurt you. Maybe this is your wake-up call. Allison stood there, smirk unwavering, watching me like she expected me to crumble. See? They understand. Jay offers a future, not just dreams and excuses, she said, her voice dripping with pride. I didn't shout, didn't let the anger spill. I smiled instead, slow and real, watching her confidence stutter. Walked to our bedroom, grabbed my go bag, always packed for weekend edits, tossed in my laptop, a hoodie, my charger, and snagged my keys. Passing the kitchen, I paused, her eyes narrowing. Keep the apartment. Jay can handle the rent, I said, calm and final. Her, Michael, wait, trailed off as I shut the door, the sound of it clicking shut a quiet victory. My phone buzzed. 32 missed calls by morning, texts stacking up like debris from a storm. I turned it off, drove into the night, and felt a strange, aching relief wash over me. 3 years, blind to the signs, now painfully clear. I'm out, and it's a fresh start. Update: Allison, 26, my girlfriend of 3 years, ripped us apart last Wednesday. Confessed a 2-month affair with her boss, Jay. I'm 28, we had an apartment, Fernie the fern, a life stitched together with love, until her late meetings unraveled it. Floral perfume, unfamiliar clothes, a phone she guarded like a secret. I ignored it all, too trusting to see the cracks. Tuesday, Jay's text, miss you already, shattered my denial. Wednesday, she smirked. I needed a real man, claiming our friends knew. Jacob and Chloe confirmed. I smiled, walked out. 32 missed calls chased me. I'm holed up at a motel now. Flickering neon sign, threadbare sheets, run by Pete, a grizzled guy with a soft spot who knocked $20 off the rate after I muttered, girlfriend cheated, needed a place to land. Thursday morning, I flipped. My phone on, bracing myself. 47 texts poured in, a chaotic flood. Allison's, come back, we need to talk. Jacob's, don't freak out, man. Chloe's, let's sit down soon. Then social media crashed over me like a wave. Allison's Instagram had spun a tale I barely recognized, casting me as a controlling shadow who dimmed her soul. A post glared. Finally unshackled, Michael trapped me in his cage. A video followed, her eyes glistening with crocodile tears. He manipulated me for years, isolated me from everyone, lost it when I stood up for myself. Jacob's comment stung. You're free now. Good for you. Chloe piled on. She's glowing without him. Hundreds of likes stacked up. 3 years of shared nights, laughter, and trust, and I'm the villain? My stomach churned, but I scrolled on. Numb. Friday. The fallout hit work. Gemma, my coworker and confidant since our first gig together, texted, heads up, Allison's spreading poison. Clients are asking questions. An email pinged soon. After a company-wide memo about fostering a safe workplace, with a veiled jab at recent concerning behaviors, no names, but the timing pointed straight at me. Allison's firm feeds some of my editing contracts. She's weaving her lies into my livelihood now. I let out a dry laugh, the sound echoing in the motel's stale air. Her betrayals got claws. Saturday, I sought refuge at our old coffee shop. Allison always turned her nose up at their brew, so I figured it'd be a safe haven. Wrong. The barista, once quick with a grin and a how's it going, fixed me with a glare like I'd kicked a dog. Word got back later. Allison's a regular there now, spinning her survivor story to anyone who'll listen, painting me as the monster she escaped. Sunday brought a jolt that shifted the ground beneath me. I ran into Juliana, Allison's supposed best friend, at my storage unit. I was grabbing a box of clothes, the air thick with dust, when she appeared, her eyes darting like a hunted animal's. Michael, you need to be careful, she whispered, stepping close, her voice trembling. Jay's wife, she's connected, big time connected. Allison's been telling her you're unstable, dangerous even. I frowned, the weight of her words sinking in. Why tell me this? I asked, searching her face. She glanced around, then leaned in. This isn't her first time. Before you, there was Mark, another guy at work. She and Jay ruined him, drove him out of town. My breath caught. Juliana's confession cracked open a door I hadn't known was there. That night, I dove into research, Mark's social media. Accounts, once vibrant with photos and posts, went silent 3 years ago. Right around when Allison started at the company. A ghost, erased. Monday morning, my landlord's call jolted me awake. "Allison's trying to yank your name off the lease. Says you abandoned the place," he said, his tone wary. I chuckled, bitter but steady. "Let her take it, Fernie." 2. Pete, wiping down the motel's chipped desk, overheard and grunted. "Sounds like a hustle. Keep your guard up." Then an Instagram DM pinged, from Mrs. J. "Coffee tomorrow, about my husband and your girlfriend." The profile showed a woman in her 40s, elegant in pearls and a tailored blazer, her eyes sharp even in pixels. I typed back, "Okay, 10 a.m., brew corner," my pulse ticking up. Tuesday, I met her. Mrs. J, poised and unyielding, her espresso, untouched as she slid a thick folder across the table. "Allison's not his first," she said, her voice low and firm. 3 others over 5 years, young employees, same pattern, charm, affair, smear. Mark was one. I've got texts, emails, proof. I flipped through it. Jay's messages to Allison, cocky and careless. Michael's a pushover. Won't see it coming. My jaw tightened, but I nodded. "Juliana hinted at Mark," I said. She leaned in, her gaze piercing. "Company parties Friday. Public, perfect stage. Join me?" 3 years flashed before me. Allison's smug, real. "Man, Jacobs, don't take it personal." Chloe's wake-up call. And I felt the hurt morph into resolve. "I'm in," I said, my voice steady. She gave a faint, fierce smile. "Good. We'll let them bury themselves." I left the cafe, the folder heavy in my hands, relief mingling with a simmering fire. This wasn't just about walking away. Anymore, it was about facing the wreckage head-on. The week stretched taut, each day layered with Allison's escalating lies. Her posts grew bolder. Photos with Jay, captions dripping with victimhood. Finding my strength after years of control. Jacob liked everyone. Chloe added heart emojis. Their betrayal stung fresh each time, but I didn't reply. Silence was my shield. Gemma checked in Thursday. "Clients asked if you're okay. Allison's making you sound unhinged." I shrugged. It off, but the pressure built, a storm brewing in my chest. Thursday night, I sat in the motel, hum of the neon sign outside my window a steady pulse. I pored over Mrs. J's folder again. Emails where Allison bragged about handling Michael, Jay's replies oozing arrogance. He's nothing, easy to ditch. My hands shook, not with rage, but with clarity. 3 years of pizza. Nights, karaoke duets, quiet mornings with Fernie, all a stage for her to play me. I thought of Mark, of the others, their lives upended by the same game. Friday's party loomed, a chance not just to escape, but to strike back. Pete caught me pacing, grinned through the office window. "You look ready for a fight." I nodded, half smiling, something like that. Relief wasn't enough anymore. I wanted them to face the mirror they'd been dodging. 3 years lost, but I wasn't the fool here. Not anymore. Update, 3 years with Allison, 26, my girlfriend, imploded last Wednesday. She's been with her boss, Jay, for 2 months. I'm 28. Our apartment, Fernie the Fern, our shared dreams, gone. Late nights masked it. Floral perfume, strange. Clothes, a phone she clutched like a lifeline. I ignored every warning. Tuesday, Jay's text. "Miss you already." Tore through my denial. Wednesday, she smirked. I needed a real man. Claiming Jacob and Chloe knew. They confirmed. I smiled. Left. 32. Missed calls followed. Motel life now. Allison's lies paint me as a monster online. Friends back her. Tuesday, Mrs. J, Jay's wife, revealed their pattern. 3 others, including Mark, ruined before me and pitched a showdown at Friday's company party. Thursday dragged, heavy with anticipation. I barely slept. The motel's neon buzz, AI. Constant hum in my ears. Allison's latest Instagram post gnawed at me. A photo with Jay, arms linked, captioned, "Rising from the ashes he tried to bury me in." Jacob's "You're unstoppable," and Chloe's "So proud," stung like fresh cuts. 3 years of trust, and they cheer her on? Work wasn't safe either. Gemma texted, "Clients are pulling back." Allison saying, "You're erratic." Another vague email from HR landed, addressing recent concerns. Her venoms seeping into my career, threatening the freelance gigs I've fought to build. I paced the motel room, Mrs. J's folder open on the bed. Texts where Allison gloated, "Michael's too soft, he'll fold." Jay's reply, "Pathetic, makes this easy." My chest tightened. Not with despair, but with a growing fire. I wasn't folding this time. Friday morning, I ironed my best shirt, a crisp blue, button-up I'd worn to our anniversary dinners, now armor for a different battle. The company party loomed. A glitzy affair at a downtown hotel, all glass walls and chandeliers, where Allison's firm would flaunt its success. I met Mrs. J at Brew Corner at noon. She was impeccable, her tailored suit a stark contrast to my motel-worn edges. "Tonight's their stage," she said, handing me a USB drive, her voice steel. Emails, recordings, security footage, Jay and Allison with Mark plotting his exit. Same script they're running on you. I plugged it into my laptop. Grainy video of Jay and Allison in a parking garage, laughing as Jay said, "Mark's done." Idiot never saw it. Allison's voice chirped, "Next one's even easier." My blood ran cold. 3 years, and I was next one. The day stretched taut, each hour a countdown. Allison's posts ramped up, selfies in a sleek black dress, ready to shine. Tonight, Jacob's "Kill It" and Chloe's "You're a Queen" piled on. I didn't reply. Silence was my weapon now. Pete caught me leaving the motel, duffel slung over my shoulder. "You look like a man with a plan." I half smiled. "Something like that. Wish me luck." He nodded. "Give 'em what they deserve." I drove downtown, the city lights. Blurring past, Mrs. J's words looping in my head. Let them show their true colors. 3 years of karaoke nights, pizza runs, quiet mornings with Fernie. They'd turned it to ash, but I'd make them face the flames. The hotel buzzed when I arrived. Suits and dresses swirled under glowing lights, laughter bouncing off marble floors. I slipped in late, blending with the crowd, Mrs. J at my side in a silver gown that screamed power. Allison held court near the bar, radiant in her black dress. Jay beside her, all smug charm in a tailored suit. She was mid-toast, glass, raised to growth, to freedom, cheers to leaving the past behind. The room clapped. Jacob and Chloe beamed from a corner. Mrs. J whispered, "Wait, let her dig deeper." Allison's eyes flicked to me, her smirk faltering for a split second before hardening. "Some people cling to what's gone," she added, voice loud, "but I'm thriving now." Jay grinned. "Took her long enough." I stepped forward, voice cutting through the chatter. "Thriving like you did with Mark, 2 months ago with me." Gasps rippled. Allison froze, her glass trembling. Jay's smile vanished. Jacob, Chloe, they knew while I watered Fernie. I said, calm but clear. I tossed the USB onto a table. Files spilled. Texts, photos, Mark's downfall mirrored in theirs. Same game, different target. The crowd hushed, eyes darting. Jay snarled, "You're desperate! Get out!" Mrs. J moved fast, plugging the drive into a projector. Jay's voice boomed from a recording. "Michael's a sap. Allison's got him wrapped." Allison's laugh followed. "He's nothing. Easy to ditch." The room shifted. Jacob shrank back. Chloe's face paled. A coworker shouted, "That's like what they did to Mark." Allison screeched, "He's lying. Jealous." Jay lunged. "You're finished, Michael." Mrs. J blocked him, cool as ice. "Sit. The truth's playing." The projector flashed texts. Allison to Jay. "Michael's clueless. Let's push him out." Guest grabbed files, murmurs swelling to a roar. Some bolted for the exits. Juliana, quiet till now, stepped up, voice shaking. "I helped them with Mark. I won't again." Allison spun on her. "You traitor!" But the damage was done. I turned, Mrs. J beside me, and walked out. Jay's Michael faded into the chaos. Saturday dawned still. I sat in the motel, phone off, the weight lifting. Pete knocked. "Heard you stirred something big. Coffee's on me." I took the mug, the warmth seeping into my hands, and felt the hurt ebb. Not gone, but lighter. 3 years shredded, friends lost, but I'd stood tall. Allison's world was cracking, and I hadn't thrown a punch. Just let their lies do the work. Mrs. J texted, "Phase 1 complete, more to come." I sipped my coffee, a faint smile tugging at me. Not victory yet, but a step toward it. Update 3 Allison, 26, my girlfriend of 3 years, shattered our world last Wednesday. Confessed a 2-month affair with her boss, Jay. I'm 28. Our apartment, Fernie the Fern. Our life, obliterated. Signs I ignored, floral perfume, new clothes. A phone she guarded. Tuesday's text from Jay, "Miss you already," forced my eyes open. Wednesday, she smirked. I needed a real man, revealing Jacob and Chloe knew. They backed her. I smiled, left. 32 missed calls followed. Motel. Days unfolded. Allison's lies vilified me online. Friends cheered her. Tuesday, Mrs. J exposed their pattern. 3 others, like Mark, crushed before me. Friday's company party became their undoing. I walked away as their facade crumbled. Saturday morning, the fallout hit like a tidal wave. Allison's firm posted a terse update. Event concluded, addressing internal matters. Jay's LinkedIn went dark. No updates, just a blank profile pic where his smug grin once sat. Social media flipped. Jacob's didn't mean to pick sides. Chloe's, I messed up. Sorry. Pinging my phone now silent with their numbers blocked. I didn't reply. Their apologies felt like ash after 3 years of trust torched. Sunday, I boxed Allison's stuff, scarves, mugs, that blazer. Stacked it curbside outside the apartment. The landlord texted, "She's out, new tenants in." Fernie came with me. Pete offered to keep him at the motel, but I took him. A scrappy survivor like me, his pot now perched on my windowsill. Monday, Mrs. J met me at a diner. Her posture relaxed, victorious, a stack of papers beside her coffee. "They're done," she said, sliding over news clippings. Jay and Allison resigned amid conduct reviews. Lawsuits are piling, Mark's back, others too. My divorce papers sealed it. He's got nothing left. I nodded. They deserve it. She smiled, faint but warm. You didn't run. That's why this worked. I left with Fernie's pot under my arm, a weight lifting. 3 years gone, but I'd reclaimed something fiercer. Tuesday, I signed a lease. A small studio with a skylight, a fresh canvas for my edits, and Fernie's green sprigs. No more creaky floors or echoes of Allison's smoothie blender. Just quiet mine. Wednesday, Allison's final play flopped. A tearful video. I was manipulated. Jay used me, and now I'm persecuted. It tanked. Mrs. J's files flooded. The replies, texts where Allison bragged, "Michael's out, next step's ours." Juliana's screenshots followed. Allison mocking me, "He's so naive. Jay's my ticket up." Views plummeted, comments turned brutal. Liar. Karma's real. Jay vanished. His office shuttered. Word spreading, he's broke. His charm drowned in legal fees. Thursday, Jacob tried again. A long text. "I should have been there. Let's grab a beer." I sent back his own words. She deserves someone established. And blocked him. Chloe's career wobbled. Her firm saw Juliana's leaks tying her to Allison's schemes. I didn't gloat. Let them stew in their choices. Friday hit a raw note. Allison showed up at the motel. Pete called me at work. "That girl you warned me about, she's in the lot," yelling. I drove back slow, steeling myself. She sat on my car's hood, mascara streaking, a manila envelope clutched tight. "I have dirt on everyone," she hissed, voice shaking. "Help me stop this or I'll ruin them all. Jacob, Chloe, Mrs. J." I laughed, soft but real. "Go ahead. Burn every bridge you've got. Look where your last plan landed you." Her eyes widened, then narrowed. She threw the envelope at me, papers scattering, screenshots, photos, her arsenal of blackmail from years of games. I snapped photos of each page as she glared, then handed it back. "Release it. See who's left standing," I said. She tore it up right there, screaming, "You'll regret this. Everyone will." A bystander filmed it. The clip went viral by nightfall, her tantrum a public swan song. Saturday, I unpacked in the studio, Fernie on the sill, my laptop humming with a new project. Mrs. J's divorce finalized. She texted, "Got the house, cars, most of it. Jay's a ghost now." I replied, "Good. Thanks for everything." She sent a thumbs up, a rare lightness in her tone. Allison's social media went silent. Rumors swirled she's back with her parents, states away, her spotlight snuffed out. Jacob and Chloe faded too. Mutual friends said they're scrambling. Reputations dented by their own words resurfacing. I didn't chase revenge. It found them anyway. Sunday, Gemma dropped by with coffee. "Clients are back. You're clear now." We toasted to fresh starts, her grin a reminder of loyalty that held. The week blurred into a quiet rhythm. Work. Picked up, a promotion landed, my edits sharper without Allison's shadow. I started seeing someone. Casual, no rush. A barista who laughs at my terrible puns. It's early, but it's honest. A stark contrast to the lies I'd lived with. Looking back, those 3 years with Allison feel like a film I edited wrong. Too many cuts, not enough truth. Her smirk that Wednesday night, Jacob's "don't take it personal." Chloe's wake-up call, they echo, but they don't own me. I'd walked away smiling, not because I wasn't hurt, but because I knew I'd survive it. The company party replayed in my mind. Allison's meltdown, Jay's panic, the crowd's gasps. Not my doing, just their unraveling, laid bare for all to see. Pete caught me watering Fernie Monday, grinned through the motel office window. "You're looking lighter, kid." I nodded. "Feels that way. Moving on soon." He waved. "Good. Don't look back. I won't. Allison's schemes, Jay's arrogance, friends who flipped. They're footnotes now, fading with each day I reclaim. 3 years lost, sure, but what I gained weighs more. Clarity, strength, a life untainted by their mess. Karma didn't need my push. It rolled in like a storm, and I stood back, watching it cleanse the slate. Fernie's leaves perked up. Green against the skylight, a quiet promise. I'm not just surviving, I'm thriving, and that's the real win.